Shri Guru Charitra, Chapter 44, Tantuku's Pilgrimage to Sri Sailam. This chapter describes Sri Narasimha Saraswati taking the weaver Tantuku to Sri Saila Parvat in a trice on the holy Shivratri day by his mystical power and his narration of Shivratri Mahima and the story of King Vimarsan. Tantuku sees none else but his Guru's form even in the Shivalinga at the Sri Sailam shrine. A true disciple should visualize his Guru alone in all the gods. For him, all the gods get subsumed in the form of his Guru. Siddha Muni told Namdharak that he would narrate to him an anecdote of a weaver who was a great devotee of Guru Nath. His name was Tantuku. Tantuku used to come to Guru Nath daily for his darshan. He used to sweep and clean the precincts of the mutt every day. A little before Shivaratri, people were setting out on a pilgrimage to Sri Sailam for Lord Mallikarjuna's Jyotirlinga darshan. Tantuku's parents also decided to go and they wanted their son also to accompany them. Tantuku knew that Guru Nath was Lord Mallikarjuna and therefore there was no need at all for him or anybody to go all the way to Sri Sailam for the Lord's darshan. The parents could not prevail upon him to join the pilgrim party and the son stayed behind while all his relations and parents went. On the holy Shivratri day as usual, the weaver took his bath in the Sangam and came to the mutt for the darshan of Guru Nath. Guru Nath asked him why he did not go to Sri Sailam along with his people. The weaver said that his Sri Sailam was Gangapur only and Guru Nath was his Mallikarjuna. Guru Nath was pleased with the weaver's devotion and faith. He asked him to sit near him and to keep his eyes closed. No sooner than Tantuku did this, he found himself at the foot of the Sri Sailam mountain and with Guru Nath only by his side. Guru Nath asked him to go and take his bath in the holy Patala Ganga river and thereafter to perform the ritualistic vidhis and visit the temple for Jyotirlinga darshan. As he walked down to the river, he found his parents and relations there. They were surprised to see him. The parents rebuked him, saying that he could have as well come along with them instead of deciding to come along later. The weaver told them that he did not come by himself there, but it was Guru Nath's will and grace that brought him there. They did not take him seriously. After the bath, when he went into the temple, he found Guru Nath only in the place of the Jyotirlinga. Guru Nath was seated there in the place of the Linga and was accepting all the offerings being made by the devotees and was receiving the unending abhishekas. The weaver's ecstasy knew no bounds for having had the darshan of his Guru Nath on the holy Shivratri day in the sacred Jyotirlinga shrine of Sri Sailam, which is the Lord's eternal abode. The weaver then fell at the feet of Guru Nath and pleaded with him to enlighten him on Sri Saila's Thana Mahima. Guru Nath told him that the Sri Sai Parvata Mahima have been described in the Skanda Purana, which he would recount to him. In Kirat Desa, there lived a king named Vimarsan. He was a very valiant person. He made many conquests and was always victorious, but he was a very sensuous person. He lacked moral rectitude, but even so, he had one saving virtue, that was his devotion to Lord Shiva. Every month, on the Shivratri day, he used to do Jagrana, that is, keeping awake the whole night worshipping Shiva. On other days, he used to mostly enjoy himself with women, music and dance. His wife, Kumudavati, was a very pious lady. She was always worried about her husband's licentious nature. She always tried to persuade him that he should change his mode of life. She used to tell him that while he professed his devotion to Shiva, his behavior and conduct were most unbecoming of a devotee. She told him that she was at a loss to understand how, with such a sensuous and indulgent nature, he ever came to cherish devotion to Shiva at all. Thereupon the king started narrating the account of his previous life. In his previous birth, he was a dog wandering in the streets of the city of Pampa. On one Shivratri day, curious to know what was happening inside the temple, where thousands of people were going in, he also went in. He was also hoping that he would be able to get something to eat there and allay his hunger. As soon as he entered inside the precincts, the people there took hold of a stick to drive him out. The dog started running, but inside the temple compound itself. While being chased, it ran round the main temple of the shrine 3 times. While running, it could get the glimpse of the holy shrine inside where Shivratri Puja was being performed. But it got a good beating. Not being able to get anything to eat, it had to go without food that night. Because of the severe beating it received and added to it due to hunger, the dog died. But the merit which it got through the darshan of the puja, the pradakshinas and the fast it underwent, although unknowingly and with the least intention, resulted in it being born as a king in the next life. But he was not able to shed the habit or samskaras that characterized his previous life as a dog. If he, as a dog, had done the pradakshina and fast with a little understanding at least, he would have been able to shed the dog vasanas completely and would not have had this wayward and sensuous mind in life. The queen asked the king if he could also tell what her previous birth was and let her know about it. The king told her that she was a pigeon in her previous birth. One day she saw a large piece of meat lying on the ground. She picked it up in her beak. While she was flying in the sky with it, a kite saw her and started chasing her. The pigeon started flying with all its strength, and in the process of being chased and in its flight for escape from the kite, it happened to fly round the Sri Saila Parvata 3 times. In the end, however, the kite caught hold of it and killed it and then ate it up. But because of the 3 pradakshinas which she happened to do, though unintentionally, the pigeon earned a great merit and was born as a queen in this life. The queen was very keen to know if the king could tell her how her future birth would be. The king told her about that also. He said that both of them, after a few more births as king and queen, would be attaining salvation and would be free from the cycle of birth and death forever. Gurunath told the weaver about the Shivaratri Mahima thus at the holy Sri Sailam itself. Gurunath asked the weaver to touch his padukas and then close his eyes. No sooner than the weaver did this, he was back in the mutt in Gangapur, seated in the presence of Gurunath. Thus ends the 44th chapter of Sri Guru Charitra describing Sri Saila Mahima. Glory to the All-Merciful, the Omnipresent and the ever-responsive Gurunath.